You know what the problem with most people is? They lack culture. See, we have to realize is the lack of culture is the reason why people partake in foreign traditions and foreign customs. It's because they don't have a culture of their own that they're familiar with. So what they do is try and appropriate or familiarize themselves with other cultures to compensate. See, but this is dangerous because, you know, cultures dictate ethics, morals, values. Different cultures have different ethics, morals, values. So, you know, we have to be mindful of these different things. You know, we can't just appropriate any culture, because there can be dangerous spiritual repercussions for doing these things. A lot of people are heavily religious and they overly, or the reason why people are so religious and why they celebrate holidays as much as they do or the way that they do is because these people lack culture and they lack knowledge of their ancestry. So when you lack culture, what you're going to do is seeing how you don't have your own customs and traditions that come from your culture, you're going to cling to holidays because these are government sanctioned customs and traditions that have been set forth for you to give your energy and your attention to. Also, to keep you distracted and keep you blinded from your own culture, from your own traditions and your own values, morals. They don't want you to develop a mind of your own, to develop a true culture of your own. So, what you have taken place is a lot of um deception is taking place. You see, the purpose of these things are to keep you blinded. Whether you're blinded by the dark or whether you're blinded by the light, the purpose is to keep you blinded. So what we must realize, is that the that culture is very important. You know, having your ancestry and knowledge of your ancestry is very important. Now, this gets me to religion with the Bible and the characters and the genealogy and so forth and so on. The chronological events that take place in there and the bloodlines and so forth and so on. And it tells you in this book, the Bible, to honor, your mother and their father. This is pretty much telling you to honor your birthright, to acknowledge your heritage. Seeing how a lot of people have lost their culture, their birthright, and their heritage. They cling on to Bible stories and biblical figures as part of their ancestry or as individuals that really and truly existed once upon a time that they may have some not even relation to, but that have some significance or some type of precedence over their life, which in actuality these are characters. They're anthropomorphical characters. We're dealing with allegories. These are figures, these are characters that are used and pretty much to convey a message. The story is being told in a form like folklore or fairy tales, like for children. So you can grasp the basic concepts and principles of these stories and the underlying meanings. But then, you graduate from belief, which is for children, to faith, which I guess you would say is for teenagers. It's in the middle, and then you go from there to fruition or bringing things to be, to existence. See, they have people stuck on belief and faith, belief and hope. See, but we're not talking about fruition. See, a lot of people talk about, creating their own realities and so forth and so on. But if everybody truly believed this and truly felt this inside, then the reality, collective reality, would be on a better note. Because only thing I see is a lot of people that are running around fearful, ignorant, they're full of doom, they're full of fear, they're full of ignorance. You know, you listen to certain individuals and they have people fearing an apocalypse, or fearing some type of Armageddon, or fearing some type of global shutdown, some type of economical shutdown. You know, people are doomsday prepping. They're fearing being locked in confinement camps, concentration camps, so forth and so on. Newsflash, they already have confinement camps and concentration camps, and they've been locking people in them for a very long time now. Some of them, you know, publicly they're called prisons or penitentiaries, but then they also have private owned institutions. You know, so, you know, fearing different things that are already in occurrence, there's no need for this. You know, and the thing is that, you know, realize that if it's going to be, it's going to be. You know, there's no chance, there's no coincidence. You know, now back to my point, if we really truly believe and feel that, you know, we can use these different laws of attractions to attract our own realities and things of that nature, then why aren't we attracting more pleasant realities? Why are we prepping for doom? Why are we full of fear? Because if this is what's going on in our subconscious, then this is pretty much the reality that we're going to bring to existence. It's going to be fearful, it's going to be doomful, it's going to be dreadful, it's going to be hellistic. So, you know, a lot of this is just having a peace of mind within yourself, you know, but actually finding that peace of mind, finding your mind, finding your soul, letting your spirit travel till it finds, till it aligns, till it magnetizes to your soul. You see, a lot of what people do is out of ignorance. So when I use a term like counterfeit consciousness, I'm not saying that you're intentionally faking or pretending to be something that you're not. What I'm saying is that there are a lot of decepticons, or conscious deceptions, or known deceptions, because consciousness or conscious is the known. Unconsciousness is the unknown known. So what we have to realize is that you're dealing with different knowns. Some things are known to you consciously. Some things are unknown to you. So there has to be some type of light or some type of direction given for certain individuals to actually rise to higher levels of consciousness, or higher levels of known knowns, and rising from the unknown knowns. You know, it's going to be fearful for some people. It's going to be painful for a lot of people, um, traumatic, you know, and for a lot of individuals, it will hurt. Detaching from the ego is not easy. Detaching from the physical ego is not easy. Aligning your spirit with your soul is not easy. You know, um, um, pursuing your spiritual ego, or elevating your spiritual ego, you know, which is your spirit, you know, trying to match up with the soul, you know, this isn't always easy. You know, so this is why people must practice. As they say, practice makes perfect. But also, this is why people need discipline. They need to focus. We need to stop making excuses for staying where we're at. You know, we can say that we're all on different levels of consciousness and so forth and so on. But yes, if I'm going to give you a hand, you know, and pull you up, I have to be above you. And I'm not extending my hand down to you and, as a form of disrespect, or being condescending, or saying that, you know, I'm a superior, but it's to lend a hand to pull you up so we can be equal, so we can be on the same level, so we can walk together side by side. We can't walk together if I'm in front and you're behind, or you're in front and I'm behind. We're only walking together when we're in unison, in sequence, in line. Both ends match up, you know, and then we move forward in a direction, you know. So a lot of people, you know, are easily offended, and that's because a lot of people are accustomed to being in their emotions. They don't realize that love is tough at times. Love isn't always soft. There's too much soft love going around. We need more tough love. We need to shake and wake people up. We can't keep pacifying emotions. We can't keep pacifying the physical ego. Because if you do this, this will prevent that bond, that solar bond. So, we have to realize that yes, there are going to be times where the truth is going to offend us because the truth is ugly. It's not pretty. See, we've been accustomed to this flower talk, this fluff talk, where people talk very pleasant and they say everything that you want to hear that makes your spirit feel so good. See, a lot of these things are conscious games. They're Decepticon tactics. Tactics of deception to pervert you or to get your spirit off course, to have you thinking that everything is fine the way it is and that you're fine where you're at, that it's okay to be where you are, that you don't have to strive for excellence, that you have nothing but time. See, a lot of these things are to keep you grounded, to keep your spirit grounded for as long as possible. There are certain individuals that feed off of your energy, and they need you to stay grounded. They don't like for their food to up and fly away. They want it to stay grounded on that plate so they can feast. So, a lot of what's going on is not that it's intentional, it's ignorance. And ignorance equals death, but knowledge equals life. So this is why we must obtain universal knowledge. We must strengthen all of our tools, not just one tool in the shed or one tool in the box. We must sharpen them all because they are all necessary tools. We have to stop looking at things holistically and not partially. We have to stop allowing ourselves to be consumed by our physical ego, or some may call the root chakra. We have to rise above that. We can't stay stuck there because a lot of us are stuck in the lust, the temptation, the perversions, the physical attractions, which are really distractions. Physical attractions are spiritual distractions. It's to get you off course, off track. So keep these things in mind. In order for you to learn, the information isn't always going to sit well with you. It's not always going to make you feel good. Sometimes it's going to make you feel uneasy. Sometimes it's going to offend you. This is necessary for your growth. This is tough love. This is not hate. See, this is what they mean by love can conquer all. You can conquer hate with love, but you have to know how to properly apply love. Which spectrum or which aspect of love to apply? Is it the tough love or is it the soft love? We've been getting tough love not as much as we should. We've been getting tough love not as much as we've been getting soft love. We've been getting soft love more than we've been getting tough love. We need more tough love and less soft love because the soft love is making us soft. It's making us soft to oppression. It's making us soft to deception. It's making us voluntarily submit to oppression, to deception, to earthly attachments and distractions because they make us feel good. But just because something makes you feel good doesn't mean that it's good for you. Just because you like something doesn't mean that it's right for you. So we have to get out of our emotions. Emotions can lower your intelligence. Emotions are energies in motion. What motion are these energies flowing in? Is it flowing upward or is it flowing downward? Is it flowing outward? Is it flowing inward? You are a compass. Know your direction. Again, you are all zodiacs. You are all signs. The serpent is the center, the healer. Some call Kundalini. Sangoma they call Umbalini, which is where the term umbilical cord comes from. The cord that connects the child to the mother, the child to the womb, the spiritual connector, that cord that's tangled. It's like a serpent's coil that transmits energy and allows energy to flow from one force to another. This is umbilini or umbilical. See, when you learn the indigenous cultures and a lot of the languages, you'll see where a lot of the perversions come from. People say that the European language is a bastard language. Okay, so if it's a bastard language, let's identify the parents of this language. Because a bastard isn't a child without parents. A bastard has parents. We must find and identify the parents of the bastard. Although there may not have been any proper unification upon creation, there are still creators of this bastard language. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. So let's find the roots, let's find the essence of the bastard languages. You see, and then once we do that, then we can utilize this language. We can utilize this spell, these words. We can utilize these things to benefit us. We can stop rendering our power to outside forces that only want us to submit to our lower self. So it is very important that, if you are a deep thinker, to think deeper. Go deeper. Be more insightful. There's always more to see inside. Let's not get to a certain level and stop. Let's not get to a certain depth and stop. Let's not get to a certain degree and stop. Let's not get to a certain volume and stop. Let's continue to expand. Let's continue to go deeper. Let's continue to explore more. And let's be more. We are the truth we seek. See, there are answers that lie within us all, but there are also clues, there's signals, there's messages, there's codes that exist outside of us. See, we always have to find balance, to find that meiotic balance, to combine, to find the balance, the medium between the outer and the inner, the upper and the lower, So a lot of information we can come across, outside of ourselves, but then we take this information and we analyze this information to find the true answer. Because ultimately, the truth, and answers are based upon our perceptions and how we perceive and what we want to perceive truth to be, what we want to perceive logic to be, what we want to perceive as the right answer. So a lot of it deals with us on the inside as being the final judge, as being the final decision maker of what we value as truth, what we value as fact, what we value as an answer. So there are a lot of distractions out there to mislead your spirit, to capture your spirit, to enter and capture your spirit. This is what entertainment is. It is the opposite of education, which is to bring out that which is within. This is freeing your spirit, your Christ state, your spirit rising, your risen spirit. And being correct. You're dealing with core erection, the erecting from the core, from the root. To erect is to go up, to go outward. So what starts within will begin to blossom on the outer. It starts within, but it blossoms on the outside. You plant the seed in the soil, it sprouts. You see the flower on the outside, but the seed was planted on the inside. This is the one that comes from the none, but from the one comes many. So there's just some things that we really, really, really have to start to wrap our minds around, and we have to get a more clearer comprehension or clearer view of what it is that we're dealing with and what it is that we're up against. We have to stop taking things so lightly, and we have to stop taking everything so physically, because a lot of us aren't doing the proper spiritual work. A lot of these situations could be resolved if we consulted with ourselves properly on a spiritual level and in the spiritual realm, because these sorcerers that are casting spells left and right, they're working spiritual magic. They believe in magic. They practice magic. But see, the masses, they fear magic. They fear themselves. They fear true spirituality. They don't want to spiral. They don't want to spiral their power into reality. They don't truly want to manifest their full potential. You know, and a lot of it is because they've been dumbed down for a very long time. But it's time to undumb. It's time to smarten up. It's time to wise up and rise up and be greater than what we were before, or what we are now. We must constantly evolve and grow to be better, to be greater. So, you know, like I said, a lot of the distractions we have to stop giving into. We have to stop supporting these illusions, these fantasies, these fairy tales, these fundraisers. We have to get out of this stuff because this stuff is holding us down. We have to stop making excuses for partaking in these rituals, because that's what they are, rituals. These people have you practicing and partaking in rituals against yourself. You're partaking in power rituals that's going to give power to the beast that is going to devour you. You're giving it your energy when you do these rituals. It's almost like you're investing in your own demise, investing in your own destruction. And they make you enjoy the process. They make you enjoy it while it's happening. So we're investing in our own destruction while enjoying it occur. We're enjoying our own destruction because they gave us things to pacify our emotions, or to pacify our higher awareness, to pacify us and dumb us down. So this goes back to these things that we like and these things that we want. See, we enjoy the things we like. We enjoy the things that we want. And so this is why, and this is how we end up enjoying our own demise and investing in our own demise with a joyful feeling while doing so. These are mind tricks, deceptions of knowledge. So again, we have to be more aware of our actions, of our thoughts. We have to be more aware of our situation. We have to be more aware of the problem and the solution, because the solution exists within the problem. We are the problem. We are the solution. We are the problem. We are the solution. So if we want change, we have to be the change that we want to see. We can't keep looking for something outside of ourselves to save ourselves. I've told you years ago, and I still say today, we must be saviors of ourselves. Because sending the SOS to someone or something else does not guarantee any help. This is just you rendering your power to something or someone else. So remember, Right knowledge corrects wrong behavior.